Yo, what's up everybody? It's Boo from Mile High Distilling. I'm back with another video for you guys. Today's video, we are going to be unveiling our new recipe. We have a smoky malt whiskey that we've been working on. I think we've got it a little bit together. We're going to be offering in two different variations, 21 pounds of grains per recipe. We're going to have a heavy smoke as well as a light smoke. Now this heavy smoke is going to be like a campfire in your mouth. It's definitely going to be a very acquired taste, but we have a secret ingredient for it. Also included in the kit is this toasted marshmallow essence, and this really accentuates everything, believe me. Now aside from that, we're also going to have our light smoke. If you're just trying to get a touch of that smoke in there, you're going to achieve it with that light. Our heavy is going to use 15 pounds of cherrywood smoked malt, as well as 5 pounds of beechwood smoked malt and 1 pound of mesquite smoked malt. So 3 different grains, all smoked. You can see where I'm going. You see how it gets a little bit heavy on that smoke flavor. It's definitely going to be acquired, but it's going to be nice for those who will like that. Our light is going to be using 15 pounds of malted barley, as well as 5 pounds of rye malt, and 1 pound of mesquite smoke. Believe me, that pound will do what it needs to do. It comes over pretty well. So today we're going to be running through that recipe, what it includes a little bit more, how to do that recipe, and get you on the right track to start your own. Now I do want to take the time and mention that that recipe, if you'd like to buy it straight from us with instructions and everything, is found down below in the description here. You're also going to see all our recipe kits included down below. We have a bourbon, we have a rye whiskey, and a few different others to try out. So please look down below in the description. While you're at it, while you're down there, please be sure to get all our social media, click those links to those, and subscribe, follow, everything you guys need to do. Appreciate your support so much. These recipes are going to be designed for a 6.5 gallon batch, which pairs perfectly with any 8-gallon boiler we sell here. You can scale back down to 5. I'd take off about 15% of the water volume it's asking for in order to achieve that 5-gallon. You can scale down the grains if you want, keep it as is. Not really going to hurt too much, it's just going to get you extra gravity. Up to you there. But for now, we're going to be doing a 6.5 gallon recipe on our side. We start doing that by 5 gallons of water. So we're going to grab 5 gallons of water, we're going to put it in a pot or a mash tun or something that can house that water as well as house those grains. Now if you're using, say, a pot on the stove, you have to be really careful with these grains. If these grains stick and burn to that base, you've ruined your recipe. So you're going to want to constantly stir to increase that efficiency as well as prevent any scorching of those grains during your cook time. Otherwise, a lot of mash tuns and things like that will have a false bottom so that grains can safely be put in, and then you don't have to worry about that. But you'll still want to give a stir. That'll increase the efficiency of the grains. It'll move those sugars around and get you a higher alcohol by volume. These will achieve around 8 to 10% naturally, I'd say. If you increase that efficiency, you might even get up to about 12 or so. And then from there, if you want to push even further, you can add a little bit of some cane sugar, something to that effect to get that gravity up on your fermentation. Your alcohol by volume is up to you. Keep in mind, we've discussed on this channel, what that means is, let's say you have 15% alcohol by volumes. Out of a 6.5 gallon solution, that means 15% of that solution will be alcohol able to come out of the still. So the more you have of that, the more alcohol you'll get out of the still. With that, some people say that the higher alcohol content you have, the more you have impurities and different things you're not really wanting naturally in the grains as you increase that alcohol content more. So, 10% is pretty common, I would say, for a lot of distilleries. They take a little bit of loss of that cut so that their grains, the fatty acids, the lipids, all those great flavor enhancers found naturally in the grains are able to really come through all that well. So how you do it is up to you. We're probably going to be going the all-natural route. What I'm doing now is waiting for my water to boil. As soon as we hit that boil, we'll take another cut, add our grains in, and then from there, we're going to let everything sit 90 minutes altogether. So I'm going to be going the heavy smoke route for this recipe. I have this just to kind of show you guys what's going on. I might be off camera fermenting this for myself a little later. We'll have to see how things go. Also, if you notice, I do have these in a brewing bag. So that just means easy putting in, easy taking out of my grains. It's also going to make sure that when this boils and everything goes through and everything's done, when I go to drain this out of the drain left on this mash tun here, those grains, if it's loose in there, sometimes they can kind of just clog up that drain. This is going to help everything clog less so that I can safely transfer my wort a little easier. Aside from that, it kind of just leaves less worry for me. I don't want any of those grain kernels to go past my false bottom and start scorching. I'd rather just have it contained in this. So optional, not really something you need, but I put my stuff in a brew bag. And yeah, I guess that's it for now. I will see you in the next cut. One sec, guys. Now we have just hit 165 in our mash tun here. That's pretty much exactly what we want. When we drop these grains in, we're gonna see that temperature decrease to about 155, 160, which is our optimal range. That's gonna give us the best efficiency and let those grains soak in there for 90 minutes. So we're pouring in now. We get our lid on, and then from there, we're gonna have this sit for 90 minutes. So we're gonna be watching. We'll want to go ahead and stir those grains really every minute. You wanna be pretty proactive with it. That's gonna increase your efficiency. So if you don't do that, you get a little bit lazy and let it sit, you're probably only gonna get about maybe 7, 8% naturally. But if you do a good job of stirring, moving those sugars around, moving those grains around, you can achieve 10, 11, potentially 12 if you have the right tools. So it's up to you. You know, it's up to you if you want that extra percent by doing a little more work. So as we hit about an hour into this boil, we really have some nice flavors going on. We're getting a little bit of that smokiness. It's more just, you know, anyone who's ever brewed beer or done anything like this, you know the smell I'm talking about. It's nothing extraordinary or too different, but I can tell you, when this goes into the fermenter after everything settles, you're going to be able to smell that smokiness. I know firsthand because we had a little bit of a test recipe. We had to make sure this kit was good, right? And we just had to distill it. We had to taste it, right? So we have a lot of it left, and I want to share it with you guys. I'm going to be taking a shot. Please, if you have a liquor around you or want to go grab one, please take a shot with me, folks. Now, while we're pouring shot number one, I do have a second one I want to try. But this is to everyone who has subscribed to our channel, who has liked our videos. We thank you guys so much for all that. Please, if you're liking this one, do the same. We really appreciate that. We have a bunch of future content coming out, a few different recipes, some interesting sort of out-of-the-box videos here and there in between all that recipe videos. And then we're also going to have more of our Distilling 101 series, more of our How to Build a Still series. We've got a lot of content coming towards y'all. So please, if you're liking these videos, you'll see plenty more on this channel. Be sure to subscribe and like. This is part of the Heavy Toast recipe kit. This is white whiskey with a little bit of that toasted marshmallow essence in there, and it really does a good job. It complements it well. So cheers, everybody. Thank you, guys. That's good stuff, man. That is good stuff. Now, we also have a little bit of that same recipe on oak. It's got a beautiful amber color. And once again, folks, cheers to you. Take a second shot with me. No one's watching. Come on, guys. It's heavy proof. That's 140. Probably shouldn't have had that one. Should have grabbed another oaked one, but I'm good. It's all good. Okay, guys, so our hour-and-a-half boil has completed. Now here we have an optional step next. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be pushing up our heat to 170 Fahrenheit. We were trying to stay at 155 and 160, and that's going to be a lot of our saccharification process. Saccharification is basically the conversion rate from starches to sugars. It's a whole process. There's 6 stages, I think, and they're all at different temperatures. So what we'll be doing next is going up to 170 And that's going to be our highest temperature in our saccharification process. And that's just to really kind of round everything out. That's just going to finish our full process as much as we can, again, for the highest conversion possible. We want as much sugars from this grain as possible. So optional, something that is included in our instruction sheet for this recipe kit, and something that I'm going to be doing now. It is up to you. But let's have this get up, and we're going to be staying at 170 Fahrenheit for just 5 minutes. All right, and with that process fully done, we are ready to put into our fermentation vessel. Now we have to let this cool a little bit. We're using polyethylene, which is a food grade plastic for our fermenters. If you're using that kind of material, I wouldn't recommend putting 170 degrees solution in there. Don't know if it'll do anything. I don't want to find out. We've basically completed everything. Transferring over to a vessel, no big deal. And then we'll pitch our yeast when we get down further in temp. Just our optimal range of our yeast is what we're looking for. So that's about 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. You can choose the cold crash here by adding ice water. Maybe you have a glycol, maybe you have a counterflow wort chiller inside, somewhere or the other. I'm going to let it cool naturally. I've got all night, technically. I'll come back tomorrow. We'll get everything done. Now we should be in a position to where if I did this right, made a little bit of a mess, but all I'm doing is transferring that bag with all my grains inside my fermentation bucket, which you can't really see all that well. I only got so much angle I can work with here, but we'll want this on the floor because what this has is a little drain valve, and I'm going to be dumping my wort, my liquid, right into this fermentation vessel. The good news is, as far as I can see, nothing is getting clogged because all our grains are in that bag. We only have liquid in here. I haven't seen any clogging, so everything's pouring through into my fermentation vessel. The bad news is because of the height I have on this bucket, I can't have this thing go too crazy or it's just going to start spouting all over my floor. So we're going to have to be at a tiny drip here as we continue along, but it's all automated. What do I care, right? And then when everything's said and done, after all the liquid's out, we'll be able to pitch our yeast and begin our fermentation. And now, with everything in the optimal temperature range we need it for our yeast included, our Still Spirits whiskey yeast, we're going to go ahead and pitch this over the top. We're going to give it a nice stir, put our lid on, and then from there it's just a waiting game. All in all, guys, I hope you enjoyed this recipe video. I hope you get a chance to test it out yourself. Give us some feedback if you do. Let us know how we did on this. We did spend a little bit of time on this. It took about a month to fully develop this recipe, try it out, and sort of make notes from there. So we have spent some time. We're hoping you guys enjoy. And for now, guys, I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.